I like the idea of the announcer just narrating things, because you can definitely get away with a lot of, like, narrative changes by that.
Yeah.
You know? Something, you know. That would be funny.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm actually curious, like, if you go around this bend super fast, does the train rotate around you? And so now you're facing in a different direction. So, like, it goes, and you're, like, suddenly looking out the window when you were looking out front, so you have to be like, oh, now the train is this way.
Yeah.
And you have to actually turn around and say, like, now, all right, let's keep doing this thing. And then it goes, whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a little, I think it would be really interesting to figure out how to not get motion sickness. I feel like if it's fast enough, you wouldn't notice it. I'm not sure, though.
That's interesting, because motion sickness comes from just visual, so if you're motion sickness, you just close your eyes and you're fine.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it just has to be how you go around it then.
Yeah, well, it's like, if your eyes are open, you're looking out the windows, how do you get this, like, maybe there's a big arrow. Well, and the thing is, you're traveling in this, like, box.
Right.
So, like, your mind is like, oh, okay, I'm traveling this. I don't know exactly. I'm not actually totally familiar with how motion sickness, but I think that's a great idea. It's like you change, and you go into different remixes of, like, different styles, and, like, you go through a time warp or whatever, and suddenly your train is the coal-driven thing.
Yeah.
Just for a second. Imagine if you could take the shovel from the coal-driven thing and keep it with you and use that in the final... instead of an axe, you just whack with the shovel. That would be one way to stop it.
Or use a shovel just to smash open the
axe cage.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, I mean, you could do that, but why not just
exactly.
But that would be funny, actually. It's like you go down, like, and you're like, wow, the whole train has changed.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. That would be interesting. Just as a way to, like, solve the problem. One of them is to shoot that sign.
Yeah.
Or something. That would be funny.
They could just shoot the engine too, if they want to.
That's true.
So we might be able to, like, maybe they have, like, limited...
You only have one shot. Do not miss your chance.
Well, it could be something along the lines of, like, no, that doesn't make sense. Never mind.
It's bullet resistant, but not vibranium resistant.
Exactly.
The axe is made of vibranium. Let's go.
And then you can do comedy like, what messed up world is this? So you can add some comedy in the narrative there.
No,
too.
it's a lightsaber. It's a in the box is a lightsaber, but it's like the paradox where, like, the scissors are tied with zip ties.
Yeah.
So you can't actually get into the lightsaber box without the lightsaber.
Yeah.
So you can shoot it, or you can try and shoot the engine, but it won't do anything. You have to actually get the lightsaber, and one of the ways is, like, you get the shovel, I'm like,
yeah,
clang, and you manage to get the lightsaber, and it's like, yes.
Yeah.
That would be super funny.
That'd be actually really funny.
So that'd be one way, and then the other way, I guess, if you don't shoot the thing, you have to figure out... You have to delight the birds of the forest with beautiful song, and they'll fly an axe to you or something. I don't know, because it would be one of the things that I was imagining, because I was thinking of it as like an EDM song or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Is you have a horn. So you can pull on the horn and, like, this massive chord comes out.
Yeah.
It's like with, like, arpeggiators or whatever. It's like and like maybe it only lasts a certain amount of time, so that way, like, it'll go, and so that it's not just constant.
You
can't. Yeah. Well, it doesn't have to be on 1, but it ends, like, on 4, or it ends on, like, the last measure of the phrase. So you can't just be continuously holding it.
Right. Yeah.
It does eventually run out. But then you can go like on 1 or whatever. It'll be super fun, I think. Just as a music thing. But if you could use that possibly as, like, part of the solution, it's like you have to scare something with the chord, or you have to, like, time it, or, I don't know, attract people with your timing of the horn, because, like, that's one of the most obvious things you can do, right? It's like pull the horn.
Maybe if you realize you hit the horn, like, maybe it hits the trees and the trees start falling in your way, so you're trying to stop yourself by, like, using the horn to, like, blast stuff in front of you.
Can you imagine if there was a decibel meter on the horn, and the goal was to get not even decibel meter, but you can, like, within the cockpit, you can add intensity to the horn. so that the horn, like, you can see it. Like, so the first time you do it, the trees kind of quiver a little bit.
Yeah.
And then there's like, well, there's like things that you can do within the cabin to turn up the decibels.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This is like add blank to your horn, and then you go, and like the chord changes, but also the trees really start shaking a lot.
Yeah.
And maybe you only have access to this kind of like horn modulation, like modular horn technique.
Yeah.
You know, past a certain thing, if you've done something, that would be, it's like it opens up to you once you, I don't know. Because the key is, like, there has to be, like, multiple kind of tool sets. And especially in this kind of music video, a lot of it has to be just random. Like, oh, every time you twang, this sound effect happens. And I have no idea why that happens. But maybe it helps me or something. Yeah. I feel like half the fun would be discovering, like, the wide variety of dumbass shit that occurs based on you just like, flick. Hopefully this does something, you know. But like it makes a musical change every time you do it. So it's like a musical tool. It's like and then like it actually like makes it change. And you get like achievements. It's like you've twanged this 50 times. Here's a tool.
You've twanged this 50 times.
Or so that would be really funny. You unlock the secret password or whatever. Like the Morse code.
It's gotta be something stupid too.
Yeah, exactly. You get a bad lightsaber. It's like the good lightsaber, but it doesn't cut the engine.
If you ever use something, it kills the life of the lightsaber, maybe or something like that. So you have so many guesses to do something.
Right. Yeah.
Other than that kind of.
I don't want you to lose. Yeah. I don't want to lose. Well, maybe the lightsaber. Well, because the lightsaber isn't the only way to stop the train. Maybe the other way is to just speed it up.
Yeah.
So, like, if you fail the 3 times, the announcer's like, well, another thing you can do.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then she gives you the controls to speed up the train.
Yes, it just hands you the extra boost.
Okay, here we go. Like, super fun. I don't know. I feel like getting the answer wrong. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
This is supposed to be fun.
It's supposed to, yeah. It's not, I don't want to be cerebral. I want you to enjoy the music that you're twanging.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Cause yeah, there's like the horn, which you could use as maybe you go through a burnt out forest at some point and there's like trees nearby and they're like weak enough that like when you blast the horn, like they topple and it like slows you down a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it would be really cool if you have to do like a combination of multiple things to slow the train down. Like there's like, you know, if you don't go the route of like axe, like there's other outside environmental things that you can change to slow the train down. And I don't know, but like I don't want the music to change, but I do want it to become like, would the music have to like slow down if you're like doing it like step by step, or would it be less intense? Right.
It wouldn't be a drastic change.
I don't know. Well, because like if you want to like slow the thing down, because you'd have to. This is like story writing at this point. It's like you know, interactive fiction. If you do this, then you can do that, and you can do that.
Right. We don't want to do
I don't want it to be too many. Well, and also because I don't want it to change the music. I don't want you to have to wait to like get to the next part of the music, and the next part of the music is less intense. Like, you slow down the train so you can relax. It's like, no, it shouldn't be like that. You should never. It should not decrease until you either stop before the bridge, or like imagine if part of like the improvised brake you have is attaching it to the horn, so you have to be like yanking on the horn as you approach it to try and brake.
Yes.
Because that would be a great way to like be like, this is super epic. Like, you hear the screeching and the squealing of the tires. Or tires, I said wheels. Was it?
Yeah.
You see yourself approaching and you slow down.
You just sample that and make that.
I make weird noises when I talk about
It's all good.
I should have been an EPD student.